What's up, guys? Baker here. I am back with another tutorial. What? Alright, this time I got the puppet pin tool. Basically, it's like animating a still image. And if you've seen my recent skate edit, a lot of people have been asking how I got this ending cinematic thingy so smooth. And they were trying to guess Twixtor and stuff, but this is actually just a still image that's been manipulated to look like it's moving. So here's the same clip but with Twixtor, and you'll see you get some really gross warping and just does not work. Even at 60 frames per second for this clip, not gonna work. So what do? Well, let's take a look. Let's delete Twixtor. You need to find the frame that you want to freeze. So I think I picked this one. Looks good. Let's duplicate that layer, right click, time, freeze frame, and alt begin bracket to trim it, and alt end bracket to trim this one that way. Alright, so we're going to have basically three separate pieces. We're going to have the background, the guy, and the skateboard. So I'm going to duplicate this twice, and let's rename these background, guy, and skateboard on top. Alright, cool. So we're pretty much done. That's it. Look at that. Boom. Alright. So let's let's mask out the guy and the skateboard because we need to isolate those pieces. So I'll see you guys in a few seconds after I mask these out. Alright, I'm back. As you can see, I got the skateboard soloed out and I got the guy soloed out. Now if we're going to animate this, we basically need like a blank slate in the background. So in this background layer, I need to get rid of the guy and the skateboard. So how are we going to do that? Well, if you see my last tutorial, the invisible skateboard tutorial, we're going to use the clone stamp tool. So we're going to right click, open layer, and go ahead and expand this, get your clone stamp tool. Make sure our duration is on constant and you're on the very first frame, and we're basically going to sample the sky here and start painting over like this, and just kind of get rid of the edges. Now it doesn't need to be, the whole guy doesn't need to disappear completely because we're not going to have that much parallax, but it is nice to kind of get rid of like a lot of this. So I'm going to do a super sloppy job and get rid of this guy, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Super sloppy job, but you kind of get the idea. Make it as neat as you want. Once that's done, just go ahead and click out, and let's return back to our main composition here. And we should see that our background, let's close out of this paint panel, is pretty much essentially blank. So I can turn everything back on. We got my guy, skateboard, and background in place just like that. This part is optional, but what I did was turn these into 3D layers and push the background back in Z space, maybe 200 pixels, and then scale this back up to fit the size of your comp. And let's also trim this guy right to there. Alright. And for the skateboard, let's scoot it closer to the camera, negative 200 pixels, and then scale it back down to fit the comp. Alright, so basically it's the same thing, just kind of offset in Z space, because I'm gonna make a 3D camera. Okay. And basically, might have to rescale your images, but that's okay. And I'm going to push P, keyframe the position of the camera, scoot forward a little bit, and rotate, orbit camera tool, and rotate a little bit. Super subtle. Let's also put some motion tile onto the background so we don't see the edges. 110, 110, mirror edges. Very nice. So we get the slight parallax, like we're kind of moving around some stuff, but they're still not moving. So let's get to the main stuff. This is it, the puppet tool. This is what we've been preparing for. So let's go to the guy, and up here we have this puppet pin tool. So let's click that, and we're just going to place these pins like little rigs wherever we want. So probably the knee here, the foot, this foot, kind of this section, and maybe his arm. And let's push U. Again, make sure you're on the first frame, and we can see the keyframes for these pins. So I can again scoot forward, and I can grab my cursor here and click the puppet effect and move these pins. So maybe I want the leg a little higher, knee a little higher, foot maybe a little in more, arm maybe down a little bit, and let's take a look at that. So looks like he's moving in slow motion, kind of crouching, arm going down. He's basically a little puppet. Wiggle his little foot. Awesome. So yeah, don't do that, but make it look nice. Basically slow motion without Twixtor, you know. I can go back to the first frame and do that for the skateboard. I think I just did 2 pins, one on the top and bottom, and just scoot forward. And you can't really animate the skateboard too much because it can't really you know, move. So I think I just elongated it a little bit and rotated it slightly. So kind of looks like it's flipping, slow motion, a little bit of movement in the background with the camera, and looks super nice. Now this part looks really bad because the flare wasn't painted too well, so we can just cover that up with a quick obstacle flares. Let's bring that up real quick and let it load. Let's go to options, get something pretty subtle, neutral. I think I went to light and then picked evening sun here, and screen, and just kind of place that over to kind of hide our imperfections, and maybe set a little bit of flicker, keyframe the position. But that's pretty much it. Look at that epic slow motion, kind of animating a still. I think it's pretty cool. I'm sure you can do a lot of cool things with the puppet tool, but this is just one example. I think it was pretty nice. That's pretty much it. If you make any examples or videos yourself, go ahead and post a link in the description. Show other people your work. Feel free to like and comment and favorite and share, and hit me up on Facebook and Twitter if you got any questions. If you want any more tutorials from the skate edit, just let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, peace.